that jump.
Oh.
Really low. Wind Blade will finish him off. He gets Seahawk over the wall with the broken wings. And now focus on Aslan. Grand count is up. Aslan will not last long. There's a flash from Excavate now. And now a steal and fails. The University still doesn't break. And here comes the fight. One time is on. Look at the stupidity and Yamchi on the center of the fight.
Flash away as Orc goes for the back line. Condenser standing on the run of that equalizer. Gets equalized instead. Will be waiting.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Lenovo LCL 2017 Spring Term Challenge What You Know. We will be entering our second game of the first match. Again, we will be casting this game. I am Vulcan and joining with me is my co-caster Atlas. So coming in from game 1, we've seen the tremendous victory coming in from one of the underdogs entering the game. But before that, let's get into the first search and win trivia winner. The question was, who secured the first Baron in game 1, UNOR or Adamson University? And the answer is Adamson University, and the person who answered that correctly is Angelo Harabe. Congratulations to you. You will get your mystery gift in 5 working days.
Yeah, and coming down from that last game, that was actually intense, but there seems to be a pattern now to how UNOR plays. They play safe, yes, but I think their main game plan is to react to these mistakes that are made, and their team captain has actually said that their main game plan is to just react to the mistakes of their enemies. And really, so that just means that every mistake against UNOR gives them an opportunity for a decisive victory like last game.
And that works really well, knowing that Adamson University is just full of mistakes entering game 1.
Definitely. So many mistakes, just from the jungle pathing to how much Orf did not pressure the lanes, to all those all-ins in the bot lane. It really just culminated and just continued building the snowball that UNOR had. And all those kills onto Legend Darhan and Exidia just mean that it's such a pain to actually take them down.
And a pain, more of a nuisance, more of an irritation,
Yeah.
it's more of a plague or a disease. But let's see how the Adamson University will fight back this time and deny the clean game from UNOR, because if they actually sweep ADU, that'll be 3 points for them in one of the most cutthroat group stages of the LCL.
They definitely need to have two 2-0s today to secure their spot for first seed in Group B. And otherwise, they'll have to match Malayan College's Laguna Warlocks.
Yes, and the rest don't matter because we'll be just getting the first seed of each group, and that's something you have to watch out for. I mean, right now entering the LCL, you have to expect that the playing field is now completely different. No room for small mistakes such as what Adamson University made. And because of that, they gave the first game to UNOR, but this time, let's see, will they fight back, or will they just let UNOR have their way with them?
Yeah, they definitely have their backs to the wall here, cannot afford to lose and give away the win to Adams University. The first ban here against UNOR will be the Ivern. It was very effective the last game, just completely denying a lot of objectives and resources from so that's going to be Adamson being taken down there, banning away that Ivern. We'll see how UNOR responds to this.
It's more of a respect ban or a reactive ban coming in from game 1. So, will it be enough though? I mean, you can deny certain champions from an enemy team, but you cannot deny their skill level and mechanics in a certain lane.
It seems like Adamson, if they ban away the Ivern, if UNOR picks up something that has the similar purpose as Ivern and then applies it correctly and as effectively as that Ivern, Adamson will still have a lot of trouble banning out that Anivia. Anivia is a unique champion, so it's actually hard to find a substitute for her. We're going to see how Exidia responds to that. UNOR still banning away these mid lane champions, the Ahri taken away from Jissi, and I feel like we're starting to understand their playstyle here and how their most consistent player is Exidia. So of course they're going to ban out champions that might threaten Exidia here. The meta champions, they have Ahri, Vladimir, seems very standard, so they're banning that out.
Yeah, meta bans coming in from UNOR. Rams, whereas Adamson University more of a bans towards targets. Like we heard from the UNOR Rams that they didn't really scout Adamson University. They didn't even take time to scout the enemy's lineup. They just said that they're gonna ban the meta champions right now, which would be composed of Ari and Vladimir, as you said. But
yeah, they picked the lane that they have a lot to bank on, which is mid lane, Exidia. So they are banning out these utilities damage, these meta mid laners. Seems like Adamson sticking to their guns with a Kled ban here. We're gonna see how Adamson reacts to this as we are starting for our first pick phase.
Let's see. Adamson right now will be the first pick, prioritizing the Lulu. I guess this time it'll be them taking away the utilities.
Yeah, they do want the utility, picking Lulu first pick. Even with the nerfs in 7.10, it's still a very potent champion. Loss of shields we had, so definitely gonna be okay. That's not something you see every day. If they do lock in this, yeah. If it is a lock in though, the Blitzcrank will be very interesting. But it's just gonna be the Thresh lock in here. Very consistent support, very safe. But here we go. The Nunu, the Boo-Nu, the big man. Going on to Santi, and actually it fulfills a very similar purpose to Ivern, because clear-wise, yes, because Ivern, the biggest problem you have is you get kited with the root collar, as well as your jungle camps all get stolen away. Here Santi can just do the same with Devour and have a similar utility in terms of move speed with a Blood Boil, as well as just continue kiting you away from his team with the Snowball.
And not to mention, we're going to be expecting maybe the Rams securing the Dragon very early, knowing that he does have perhaps the double smite, sometimes even more powerful in the beginning smite. So clear-wise and sustain, we will be on to Santi, whereas ADU,
Vi is not
very questionable pick coming from Adamson University.
Yeah, the Vi pick, I'm not sure how it functions in the meta right now. I think there's a lot of other junglers that fulfill the same purpose in terms of having a lot of gank pressure while still dealing damage. The Vi here, though, it might be very dangerous because
it's like they've picked a heat-seeking missile. When it lands on a certain enemy, it won't really kill them, but it will kill the jungler.
Because what happens here is,
there's like Scabby, there's the Thresh, there's the Ezreal. Why pick a Vi?
Yeah, what happens here is that it's one of the worst things to happen to a Vi is that they try to get their ultimate onto Legendary on that Ezreal, and then the Essence Shift pulls them into the middle of the team and they get isolated and destroyed. Here, UNOR still sticking to their top lane bans here, the Renekton and Rumble ban away. On the other hand, Adamson still having that Darius ban out and also taking away Nautilus.
The Rams are really banning out more of the meta champions right now, which be composed of all of their bans, whereas Adamson University, questionable bans. I don't think Kled is a really needed ban, same as a Darius.
Yeah, but I do think the Ivern and Anivia ban are on point. The Nautilus isn't that bad of a ban, but Kled and Darius ban against Xcavi.
Nautilus is understandable, but in my honest opinion, when I see a team ban out a Darius, it just goes to show they're not that skilled enough to pick up composition to even counter. I mean, when you take away certain champions, that's one thing. But banning out champions that are not even that good is something of a wasted ban. They could have banned away, let's say, if you ban out the Ivern and the Anivia, think of something. Scout the enemy. Is this something that they should ban?
Yeah, because these two are easily countered. If UNOR picks up Darius or Kled, they can just have a top laner. They should be adaptable enough to have a top laner that doesn't get destroyed by those two top laners.
And seeing how the Rams did their banning case for the top lane, Renekton and Rumble, Renekton is becoming more and more popular in the competitive scene, whereas Rumble has been always the meta top laners. But I gotta say, the Darius is something that was unexpected. But going on to the rest of the picking phase of ADU, a Karma for Illusion. Really, this is ADU taking away all the utilities that Rams had in the first game.
All the shields as well. But the other two picks, the Zed and the Vi, definitely. UNOR doesn't have the same blocking potential that they had last game. They don't have the Ivern, they don't have the Lulu, so the Zed might have an easier time. But these are still very survivable carries here. The Victor has a shield. Legend Darhan can just dash away if he has the Essence Shift away after his Death Mark. And a lot of protection coming from Xcavi here as well is possible, so that Zed, if he doesn't snowball, will have the same problem as last game, Jissy last game.
Well, at least they have Sadenza on that Karma to complement Orb on that Vi. Moreover, we're seeing a synergy this time for Adamson University. But as for Rams, they have so much utility in a way that they can zone out the enemy. Let's say the Vi goes in, the Thresh is there to block the approaches of, let's say, Jizzy on the Zed, but against a Victor, that'll be very difficult.
Very difficult indeed, but Syndra was open. Exidia had the opportunity to go for that Syndra. It is still a very decent pickup against Zed, because when he deathmarks, his position is predictable because he always appears behind you. So you can already queue up the Scatter the Weak to go for that burst. But the survivability here coming from the Victor and the ability to just constantly deal damage with the lasers, I think is a pretty decent pickup considering Exidia's performance.
And right now we're seeing all of them blocking in for the last game of the first match. This is Adamson University's last chance to deny UNOR Rams of their 3-0 clean sweep score. So, I mean, going at the judging phase looks pretty decent. I'm kind of excited to see how Santi is going to play Nunu as an Ivern type of style route. And not to mention, Vi does not have the healthiest clear.
Yeah, she has a shield for a little bit of survivability,
that's it.
but
the cooldown
that's
is just
it.
too long.
The cooldown is definitely very long, cannot be reduced by anything, so has to bank on that. If he doesn't get a good leash, if his ganks are subpar, and then he has to back off and recall after ganking, it's definitely going to be a problem for Adamson if he encounters the same problems. If he doesn't have the kind of pathing, if he has the same kind of bad pathing from last game, it might be very difficult for Adamson to snowball, especially Jissy.
And very exciting last game of first match. But I mean, you got it from us, but let's hear it from the team themselves. We do have a video prepared for you guys. So it would be Adamson University Jissy in the talk. Very interesting to see. Let's see what he has to say.
Honest opinion ko po, di po namin in-expect na magiging first seed kami sa Metro West kasi lahat ng teams doon, overall, lahat sila magagaling. At ang least expect namin nun ay magiging magiging third seed lang po kami. Yun lang po talaga. Nakala ko po, mga milagro lang po, chamba, ganun lang po. Lahat ng team may potential. Lahat ng team na maglalaro today ay expected to give their all. So, I don't brag na kami mananalo, na makukuha namin to kasi sobrang maraming effort ang may exert ng lahat ng team. So, I don't know. Di ko lang po sino po ang mananalo kasi I won't claim na kaya namin manalo today kasi I expect na lahat ng laban namin ngayon ay magiging bloody. Parang magiging bloodfest or fiesta. Yun lang po.
Of course, we are loaded onto the Rift after Jesse's message. We're going to see how we're going to fare in Game 2 of Adamson University Penguin Authority versus University of Negros Occidental Recoletos Rams, as we find UNOR, rather ADU's last chance to deny the first seed, the sure first seed from UNOR.
And as from the message from Jesse, their mid laner, it's not about how you place in the seed, it's how you
adapt and perform in coming into the Interconference. We're going to see how all that plays out.
Yeah, let's see how it all plays out. The message was very nice. Thank you so much, Jesse, for that message. And then right now, let's get to the game. More of a reactive play coming in from UNOR Rams. We did see how reactive they are, still running the double teleport off of the top and mid lane.
Seems to have been working for them. If Adamson continues their mistakes from earlier, from last game, it's going to be very hard for Adamson to get this win.
Joining the party.
Dance party there in the mid lane has that. I think that is the updated Pulse File Ezreal. So
enough of goofing around. Time to get straight to the game. The confidence coming in for the Rams are pretty understandable. They did stomp Adamson University in that first game. Just really capitalized so many mistakes from
now they have the momentum coming into the second game. You're going to see how Santi, because the most important thing here for both of these teams is how Orf and Santi path in their jungle. If Orf cannot get ganks, potent ganks, it's going to be very difficult for them to...
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that. It's just like a second smite.
This is what I was talking about. This is where Santi's clear is above Orf's. And seeing how Orf is starting in the red side, huge mistake on the Vi.
Yeah, and UNOR is playing this with the assumption, they don't have any deep vision, with the assumption that the red buff start will be for Orf. We're going to see they will encounter each other in the blue side, blue buff.
Oh, well, let's see how Santi can play it out.
He does have two smites ready here. And Orf is a little bit low. Yeah, he realizes something is up.
That's a reset for the blue buff and just wasting the time of Orf.
Yeah, and that's actually so bad because that means the Wolves camp is not completely cleared for Orf. But how is Santi going to react to this? He could just easily like go to the Raptor buff, Raptor camp here. Actually going straight for his blue buff. Gonna see after once he gets that buff here. That's actually a small win for Orf here. Santi not being able to annoy him quite enough to be super impactful.
And now, the bot lane would be something you have to watch out for. I mean, not anymore the mid lane because we're going to be seeing a Victor on Exidia, but it's up to Jissy this time again on a Snowball champion. Can Jissy make the plays again, or will he keep making the same mistakes like the jungler Orf, who does not know when to back off?
Definitely one thing that they have to keep in mind. Orf seems to be wanting to go for a gank here in the top lane. That is Lulu. Dazai on that Lulu, actually. Also going to see if Orf gets a good gank here, but seems like he is spotted out by a ward, so Xcavi just easily with the information can just back off safely. Froshay going for a hook.
No.
Oh,
that's
man.
so painful. Exhausted onto Simone. He does have to heal and flash, but he'll be set. Let me stay. Let me get a first blood. He does, but not really worth. That would be a first blood onto Simone. It will help him pick up the 2 longsword start, but right now...
Ooh, denied. Orf just got denied there. I like the fake out coming from Froshay, because from the way he was moving, it seems like he was going to go for a hook against Cadenza. But then the hook actually goes onto Simone. But in the end, because of Cadenza being able to fight it out after that, they still get the kill. The first blood actually better onto Simone. Simone picking up that refillable potion, which means that he's wanting to go back and forth in lane a lot.
And right now, Santi really stealing the resources from Orf. He's very low, but he does have the Devour. He has the sustain, plus the assist from Froshay if things go bad.
Froshay wants to go for a roam here. Is spotted out by a ward. I don't think that UNOR knows it. But Exidia, being a good actor, not really behaving as if Froshay was there.
Give an Oscar to him.
That's going to be, look at how much damage the Devar does.
You can actually go for an early Mountain Drake.
That is a possibility. Even with how Mountain Drake has like the highest HP and resistances out of all the Drakes, Devour is true damage. So, I don't know, it's managing that. So, what that's going to do is that you can just easily take that, even solo, because of the sustain that he gets.
And if he does have the blue buff and the first jungler item, why not? Go for the early Mountain Drake.
Gonna see here.
Well.
Because so far, the job for Santi is to deny Orf as much as he can. It seems like he's not doing as much of that as he should. Because the thing here, the game plan for Nunu is to make the late game into a 5v 4.5. Because he has to deny the jungler as much resources as he can.
Oh. EDU not being a really good actor, very obvious that Orf will be around there.
The aggressiveness, a good tell that the jungler is there. If Orf does not get kills, he will be relegated to this frontline role. Seems like Legend Darren though.
There's the play coming in, and Froshay walks out of that bind, and Orf is wasting his time.
They do have a little bit of pressure and health against Legendary and Froshay, but that was mostly Simone and Cadenza doing the work there. And Orf showing himself there bot lane means
second rotation?
Yeah, which means that there's a lot more time for UNOR to react in other lanes, but still, Santi going for a gank here in the top lane.
Oh, very helpful. He does have the slow. Dazai is very low. He speeds up, but the slow isn't played. Dazai flashes out, but
so he'll go for the chase.
Is not giving up the chase. He does have one more slow, and
it's
there
a zombie movie right here.
Right, Dazai. Goodbye.
Ooh, that is going to be the snowball. That was definitely a zombie movie right there, being chased by Santi.
Oh.
Deathmark gives away the kill to Jissy. That's actually more worth it to Adamson University. Because what happens there was Xcavi did not get, I don't think he got an assist out of that. But that does give a straight up kill to Jissy, which means that he's ahead of Exidia right now. With everything that's been happening, I don't think right now Santi's not doing enough work as Nunu. Of course, he's getting these ganks, he's counter jungling, but Orf isn't mitigated enough for that to matter, I think.
And right now, giving the lead onto Jissy, that's going to give a hard time to Exidia, who we saw in Game 1, likes to play it very reactively, but can you react fast enough for a Deathmark? The only way you can do that is a flash. When a flash is down, Exidia will just be at the mercy of the set, but right now, we're seeing for the first blood, Jissy still didn't return to base, getting his items.
Gets that actually gets the 2 items here. 4 longsword strangers, rated Dirk and Caulfield's Warhammer. Going into that Yomu's first compared to Exidia, who does not have that kill advantage. They're in the bot lane.
The stats from that, Jissy can really go all in onto Exidia.
Yeah, with all that AD, a little bit of CDR as well to continue with the DPS. Exidia will need to have to time his spells very well. The Gravity Field as well as the Silence from the Chaos Storm will be very important. Coming into itemization, Santi going for the Tracker's Knife, which in the case of a pro level, semi-pro level levels such as LCL, that is acceptable because it gives him a lot more control in terms of the vision. But I think after the Tracker's Knife, you don't have to transition it to Cinderhook just yet. I've seen a lot of Nunus go for Tiamat instead. Oh man, that's the problem.
Flash it onto Dead. That's going to be a thank you for Orb, and that would be a kill onto Sedenza with Jissy. Not giving up chase, going onto Santi. Orb is very low, but it'll be Legendar and picking up the kill.
3v2 now.
3v2. 3v2 will not be in favor for the rounds where we see Jissy this time getting the lead and now flashing onto C-Mode. He does get a death sentence.
Triple kill.
A triple kill.
And now that is going to be Jissy with a potential to snowball 4-0. Wow. So what's going to happen here is that Jissy will have the gold, the lead to actually keep one-shotting people with Deathmark off cooldown. And that's a problem with Santi on that Nunu. He doesn't have enough impact unless he's counter-jungling. And if he's not counter-jungling, Orf is actually doing very well in terms of CS compared to Santi.
Yes.
And if Santi's not doing his work as Nunu to completely deny the enemy jungler, that's just going to be a 5v4.5 laner in the game. Because once late game starts, Santi's just going to be a Blood Boil bot plus Snowball bot. And that's not enough impact compared to what Orf can bring to the table.
Things are looking really good for Adamson University. This time the Snowball. The lead is in favor for them. Let's hope they maintain them. Notice that how, our Rams play. They start rotating when they feel comfortable. But Adamson University, they are not going to wait for them to be comfortable in the game. Right now, when they have a lead, they should shut down the lanes.
And here comes a weakness of Santi on that Nunu. It doesn't have the same tools as Ivern, even though they fulfill similar purposes. But Santi has not been doing that purpose of counter-jungling and denying Orf completely. And even if he ganks Orf here, will Orf be able to get out? That is a lot of damage.
Flash. He does use the deadly blows to get away, but he is not going to make it out alive. Orf gets taken down with the pride of his badge.
Yeah, a little bit of a overcommitment then for Orf to stay.
Overconfidence and arrogance.
To get there.
Oh boy,
Exidia.
bad news for Exidia. There's the all-in from Jissy with Dazai helping him out, but here's the reactive play coming in from Santi. Dazai with no flash, does have the shield, but won't be enough. He does have
Snowball will happen here, but yeah, that's the most that Santi can do outside of actually. It's so funny when he starts chasing people, but that is one of the weaknesses if Santi is not able to completely deny Orf.
Oh boy, things are looking pretty good in the bot lane for Adamson University, but we're going to be seeing a Lantern Toss play, but instead it would be Santi taking the Blast Stone route. Sadenza does have him on his ropes, but Simon, no mana. And
Might be too dangerous here.
Yeah, not to mention, no damage coming in from
the turret very
Rams.
close to dying though, being taken down. This is going to be 2 members. Defending this turret will not be enough. Orf actually going on to Santi.
That's what happens when the bot lane does snowball and does have the advantage. Gives them that room and the first turret of the game.
It's much harder for UNOR to respond to threats this time because they don't have the luxury of a lead. So with Adamson making less mistakes this game, they can actually start building up their lead further and further. 3K at 12 minutes is pretty substantial, but the 401 on Jissy is just so big that I think Exidius is going to keep dying every time Deathmark is off cooldown.
Yeah, this is the problem. What happens when you face off against a Zed when he has a snowball? You are forced.
Look at damage.
Yeah, you are forced to build the Sonya's Hourglass, forcing yourself to deal less damage, more of a defensive route. So this is a way for you to deny the mid laner.
Exidia coming to lane with the Dark Seal but no potions means that every time he gets chunked down, he has to recall. Which means that that's a lot of waves denied from him. It's actually manifesting here with a 20 CS lead from Jissy. And Jissy's...
Oh, boy.
The gravity field does not matter.
There is the Assault and Battery, but Orb overcommits. There's the Lantern save. No! It would be a trade-off in kills for both teams. Where Simone is tanking the turrets. He eats the death sentence. And that, a double kill with a snowball.
Man, that is Santi. But note that more gold onto...
Wow.
Yeah. 6-2 and 2 on Nunu.
That's very
terrible.
surprising. I mean, wow.
6-2-2 on your Nunu is terrible. Because Nunu does not want the kills. Nunu later in the game, even if he has gold, even if he has a lot of tankiness, he can be ignored once Absolute Zero is off cooldown.
Nunu does not want kills. Nunu wants to win the game.
No, Nunu wants to just deny CS from the enemy jungler, and now he has not been able to do that. He is 2,000.
Wow.
He's like 1.4k ahead of Orf, but what is that going to do for his team? Right now, it seems like the gold lead is actually bigger for Adamson, because consider this. Jissy has all the kills onto him. Simone also has half of the team's, like a third of the team's kills, while Santi has like 80%, 70% of the team's kills. It's not good for a composition with Nunu to have all the gold onto Nunu, because he's not going to be the one dealing damage. His tankiness can just be ignored if once Absolute Zero is off cooldown, and he doesn't need gold to be an effective objective stealer against Dragon and Baron.
That's very true.
It would have been more ideal if Exidia got the kills, if Legendarhan got the kills, but what's happening here is because how UNOR is laning. Oh man, X-Gabby. In trouble.
Nice Ice Pillar.
But what happens here is that UNOR, by the way UNOR is laning, they are losing their lanes. But their trading is pretty good. So what happens here is everyone's, the opponent is slow, so Santi goes for the cleanup. Oh man, Cadenza.
Oh, missing a crucial hook, and not to mention no wards placed in the Rift Herald pit, but maybe that's going to be a message for the Rams, knowing that the Penguin authorities are taking the Rift Herald.
This will be the Rift Herald. We'll see if they use it effectively this time.
Yeah.
Because they are in a position to do so. They are ahead. Their carry is super
Go for
fed.
the mid lane. I would recommend use the Rift Herald in the mid lane where Exidia is very behind.
Exidia is very behind. That laser won't be as much wave clear. Jissy can just take him out. Which means that, and the lane is shorter too, which means there's less travel time for Rift Herald. It seems like the top lane will focus because they have their 80 carry and their support there.
Top lane is such a bad lane. Focus on a lane where there's a snowball with something more worthwhile, but I guess they're not looking at a long way, but we'll see a clash coming in. There's the box setup, but Orb instead is going on to Legendarium. There's a teleport coming in play. Absolute Zero is in the plane, and that's a huge chunk of damage. Exidia going into Sadenza, but there is Simone, thanks to the support, really sustaining a lot. Now goes on to Exidia under the turret. A double, make it a triple, make it happen for Simone. Santi is very low, and right now, 4 members of Adamson University destroying the top lane.
That's what I was talking about. Once Absolute Zero's slow is off cooldown, the damage isn't that big because he's not building AP. After that, you can just completely ignore the Nunu.
Looks like the Ice Pillar won't deny the charge coming from the Rift Herald, but I think this time they've used that really well.
They're able to take down 2 turrets. Buy enough time for their mid lane to take out his own enemy's turret. Let's look at how all of that plays out. Of course, again, Simone eats another hook. but there's not enough damage here. The combat stats aren't there for Legendarhen. Froshe and Santi are not very impactful. Of course, Froshe can try to peel as much as he wants because his team doesn't deal enough damage. It's all for naught. Exidia as well is so behind, which means that he's not able to kill any of these members here, especially with Wild Growth around. And look at them, they're just ignoring Santi. They realize, okay, Nunu's useless. Absolute Zero has not been dealing enough impact, so Santi can just be ignored.
Yeah, not to mention Exidia has no damage at all. And that's a huge penalty coming in for the Rams.
That's also because he's forced into defensive itemization because of Zed's 4 kills. So, because Jissy is so ahead, he has to build into that Zhonya's Hourglass against that assassin.
And that's not going to matter at all. The extra armor will be completely removed.
So mad. Black Cleaver and Yomo's Ghostblade. It's going to be a happy armor shred fiesta for Simone and Jissy when teamfights start. So that is going to be the search and win link. Just fill up the form, open up a tab, fill up the form completely, and answer the trivia question correctly and quickly. If you're first to answer it correctly, you'll be getting that mystery gift in a few working days. Coming back into the game, it's definitely trouble for UNOR. Man, because Santi...
Oh, look at the damage coming from that side, despite the nerfs.
Yeah, and despite building so defensively, he has the Roa plus the Aegis of the Legion. So definitely doing all he can to be supportive for Jissy, Simone, and Orf. Oh man, it's going to be the teleport play.
Coming in, Orf flashes out of range. The Absolute Zero does no damage to Simone. There's the calling on to Simone. There's the cancel from the Ice Pillar. Xcavi is going all in onto Simone, but there'll be Dazzler for the help with the shield. That's going to be zoned from Xcavi. Not going to do much. Simone is very low. Sadenza, 50 health, 50 mana below. But Santi really soaks up so much damage, but that's a flash in from Dazzler. And a kill for Dazzler. Xcavi is very low. Exidia cannot back away. That'll be under the turret. Simone goes under the turret. One more hit, and he does get a kill. But that's not going to last long. That's going to be Xcavi securing it with the chop. And maybe another kill. But in the top lane, Jissy is just wrecking their base.
Yeah, but that is just the top lane inhibitor turret. I don't know why Jissy was split pushing top lane, while Adu was just all-inning bot lane. If they were going for an all-in their bot lane, Jissy should have been there. You saw how much health was lost from UNOR. Imagine if Jissy was there. Let's look at the replay here. They get cornered with a teleport. Of course, the Absolute Zero slows them down a lot, but doesn't really deal enough damage. Xcavi here. Simone isolates. Xcavi gets isolated away from his team, while Cadenza and Orf try to go for buy time for Simone to be alive and take down Xcavi. But look at all those health bars. You know how much a juicy target for Razor Shurikens those are?
Yeah.
And
I bet you'd be happy.
Yeah, but all that time, it was just Jissy farming top lane. Of course, that's a good kill, but in the end, they still lose this because they go all in, buying time for Jissy. But imagine if Jissy was here the entire time. They could have not only gotten an ace, possibly, but also actually the inhibitor turret. And because of the death timers, they can actually get the inhibitor. And I think even though this is a huge loss, this is a small loss for Adamson and a huge loss when you consider the opportunity cost of that decision.
Right now,
oh man. Exploded.
Explodes.
No words needed for that. That was just Froshe not in control. UNOR not in control of their own jungle, and this is completely different.
Reverse.
Adamson from earlier.
Looks like they've learned from their mistakes and not giving any mistakes for the Rams.
And on the other hand, UNOR is the one making these mistakes. They pick this Nunu up without doing what Nunu does best, which is denying the enemy jungler. So now Santi is absolutely impactless. He has a slow from the snowballs, yes. He has the buff from the blood boil, yes. But other than that, he's not really doing anything.
They have to wait for Exidia to deal the damage. He has to step up. Why he's not stepping up? He's very behind. If they wait out long enough, I think the Rams have a fighting chance. Yes. But as University, they're actually closing the game slowly but surely. Took down the top lane inhibitor turret. Next thing you know it, the ball lane might be gone.
If UNOR can stall it out, have the Manamune Marumana charged up by Legendarian, as well as Exidia getting his damage items.
It's an Iceborne Gauntlet!
Yeah, so it's definitely less damage, more kiting, but
no damage.
But no damage at all.
Yikes.
And these guys, they are not mitigated by that Iceborne Gauntlet. The Relentless Pursuit doesn't care about move speed. The Shadow The Shadows don't care about move speed. The Youmu's just kind of mitigates that slow. Orf can just Vault Breaker out and in. So what happens here is that Iceborne Gauntlet is terrible itemization coming from Legendarian. On the other hand, Adu has all the tools to mitigate that. They have, of course, the Black Cleaver Phage proc, as well as Youmu's Ghostblade. All of that, as in their natural kits, just ignore the Iceborne Gauntlet. I don't think it's...
Yikes.
Oh, man, here comes Exidia, gonna die again.
Maybe not. There is Santi, but the Death Mark. Oh, wow. Biscuit just for the guarantee save, but that was a close call for Exidia. But right now, we do know that Jissy, no Death Mark, no Flash. Can the Rams respond to them if they ever collapse onto them?
Yeah, but if they ever collapse onto them, Simone is in the neighboring lane. So if they last long enough, that is a fully equipped Simone. His Flash is going to be off cooldown very soon. Seems like Cadenza.
Things are looking very exciting for both teams. I mean, we're seeing Anderson University. They're trying to close the game, but the Rams are not giving up yet. The Penguin authorities might set up for the Baron. Let's see, the Mountain Drake is up. I'd say go for the Drake first, then the BR. I mean, things are looking pretty tense right now, but it would be Anderson University with the lead they have for the early game.
Yeah, I don't think they have to force the Baron buff, because imagine this.
Oh boy. What if they lose the Baron?
Yeah, Santi might be having all the kills, which means that the gold from UNOR is quite useless. Oh man, Santi. Very tanky, but isolated.
That's Mark 2. That would be 2 ultimates onto Santi. That would be an investment that the ADU...
Man, they're still going for it.
Okay. Now.
Imagine this. Because Santi has most of the gold of UNOR, what happens here is that Adu's gold lead is actually more like 12,000 or 10,000, 11,000, and which means that they are able to get this Baron buff. And because Santi, it's well played by Adamson to go on to wait for Santi to come near and then take him out. Because because Adamson is ahead.
Oh boy.
Okay, they don't get it. Because Adamson is ahead, they don't want to do 50-50s. It's so terrible for a team that's ahead to try and go for a 50-50. And since it is Nunu, it's not a 50-50. It's more like a 30-70. So they do the smart thing of waiting for Santi to come near, take him out, and then go for the guaranteed Baron.
And doing the math, ADU did take the Baron, knowing that Nunu is gone. But right now, ADU,
wow,
they want to get everything, take everything away from Rams.
And even the Mountain Drake, which is going to make Simone's job of taking down these turrets a lot easier.
Yeah.
20% bonus true damage against turrets with Lightslinger procs. That's crazy.
And right now we're seeing Exidia does finish off the Zonia's Hourglass, but
they're
will
still
it be
trying to go.
Santi though! Deathmark is onto him.
I do not agree with using Deathmark onto Santi. It was the right play to make when Baron was up, but now that there are no epic monsters, he should be saving that Deathmark for Exidia, for Legendarian.
Will he pay the penalty for that? A clash will be imminent right now. They do have the Baron. We'll be expecting a Baron play coming in from ADU. The turrets will be taken out shortly, thanks to the 2 Mountain Drake.
That's his fearless attack. Oh man, Orb goes in.
Orb goes in the full charge of the Absolute Zero. Orb gets taken down. He flashed in for that, and now Simone flashes in for Exidia. He gets taken down, taking some turn hits in. Excavity does get exhausted. He does not have enough damage. Santi, very low Excavity, forcing out his flash. The slow will be enough, and that animation just secure the kill.
So close though. Can he lifesteal? Yes, he does. The shields coming from Cadenza also keep him alive. All the shielding coming from Cadenza, and plus the lifesteal allows him to survive. And here comes the redemption to top them off in terms of health.
Where is Legendarian in all this? He was at the bot lane defending, and right now, Deathmark is off, and here it comes. He goes straight to the base. Eats the death sentence, but he won't be taken down. The turret is a nuisance, and he does not care.
So that's going to be a double kill actually for Dazai. Finishing off the kill as well against Legendarian. This might be the game, or at least a lot of inhibitors for Adamson University.
Wow. Things are looking very interesting right now for Group B. Denying the sweep in the first match. Let's see how it will dictate the succeeding matches.
Yeah, because what happens here, if MCL gets another 2-0, and then UNOR will have to definitely 2-0 their next game, their next match rather. This is really painting the rest of the conference. Because if UNOR gets, because UNOR has a 1-1, it means that entire group is much closer.
Oh boy. The
Not
Rams are not giving up. Simone forced out his culling, but the chase is on Sandy leading the slope.
Oh, here it
and
comes.
there is the flash in optional zero, dealing not too much damage, but they've got what they wanted. Excidia pops the zone as he does survive. Orb has no form of escape, gets taken out by Sandy, but right now Simone going into the jungle side to escape the Rams' assault.
Do have utility.
Excalibur does have to slow in. There's the frozen domain. Ice Pillar should be up, but they say, let's cut our losses here. Let's go back and defend.
So that's going to be
Not yet game set. Wow.
Yeah, but not yet game set. But I think it might just be delaying the inevitable. Because of the nature of the composition. Let's look at that escape here. And look at all the shields in utility. Absolute Zero slows them down. But because Jizzy sacrificed his life as well as Orb, going for all of that, means that they have enough time to escape here. Simone cannot deal too much damage because he's out of mana, so Dazai and Cadenza have to do all they can to keep themselves alive. But even then, Adamson has a 14,000 gold lead, and which is actually multiplied by Santi having most of the gold from UNOR. I'm not joking here. Because Santi has most of the kills of UNOR, he has 9,000 gold accumulated throughout the game. Because he has that substantial lead over the rest of his teammates.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Excalibur. Warrior jungle, bruh. Run! He does not make it out alive.
Taken down.
Yeah.
And that's going to be easier for Adamson to close out the game.
Yep,
Well,
delayed.
Dazai wailing on these objectives. Will he be able to escape this?
Just buying time actually, but I think this was game set. Excalibur is gone. 4 versus 5. Not going to help too much knowing that you are behind. LCL University, not wasting time, takes down the inhibitor. Next will be the turret.
And that's a double redemption.
Yeah, that centers up, but Jizzy trying to find the right time to go in, but I don't think he needs to wait too long. Orb goes in for the flash in, then they close, and that's it. Next is exposed. Amazon University fights back strong, showing them the first seed of Metro West, how they play it.
Again, UNOR go for a composition that's kind of slow scaling. The Manamune, Ezreal has to scale up, has to charge up his tier. The Victor needs a little bit of gold to get going. And I think that was inevitable. I think that result was inevitable. Their draft, I think, was good, but they didn't execute the Nunu enough. If Santi was... because when the second the Santi started giving away camps to Orf, because when you're a Nunu, you have to consider that the entire jungler is yours. And Orf taking away his own camps means that that's resources away from Santi. But since Santi was just freely giving away Orf's own camps to him, means that that Nunu pick in the end is useless. And since all the gold is on him, because his team, how they lane is that they trade very well and leave the enemy low. Both of them are low. So once Santi ganks, they can't contribute. So Santi's the one that gets the gold.
Look at the damage coming in from ADU. Tremendous damage, an avalanche compared to UNOR.
Because he was spending most of his time just shredding tanks with Blade of Ruin King and his Black Cleaver. So what happened there? Definitely. I think this result was inevitable, if tragic for UNOR. When they picked the Nunu, they should have played around it in the way that let's make Orf completely useless. But Orf wasn't completely useless. He was still doing lots of CC, doing decent damage, because his camps weren't stolen enough.
And that's the price you pay, I guess. This is where the 2-game series come into play. And right now, looking at the scoreboard, the Rams are now sitting at the 4th place, while Addison University with a 2-2. It's up to MCL, the Warlocks.
Yeah. Adamson needs to at least 1-1 the Warlocks here. Or sweep them. So it's definitely going to be a unexpectedly bloody group here. I was expecting it to not have a lot of action, but since there were a lot of 1-1s in the last week, this is definitely interesting.
Interesting enough, and guys, there you have it for match 1, concluding with a 1-1 against UNOR and Adamson University. Don't go away just yet. We'll have a short break going into match 2.
It's going to be Adamson versus MCL.
Yeah, we have been the shoutcasters for the first match. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is my co-caster, Atlas. We'll be back after a short break.
Oh man,
Simon coming in. There's the box set up, but Orb instead is going on the Legendary. There's a number coming in play. Absolute Zero is into the play, and that's a huge chunk of damage. Exidia going into Sedenta, but there is Simon thanks to the support, really sustaining a lot. Now goes on to Exidia under the turret, a double, make it a triple, make it happen for Simon. Sandy is very low, and right now, 4 members of Adamson University destroying
Dazai, finishing off the kill as well against Legendary. This might be the game, or at least a lot of inhibitors for Adamson University.
Wow. Things are looking very interesting right now for Group B. Denying the streak in the first match. Let's see how it will dictate the succeeding matches.
Yeah, because what happens here, if MCL gets another 2-0, and then UNOR will have to definitely be 2-0 their next game, their next match rather. This is really painting the rest of the conference. Because if UNOR gets, because UNOR has a 1-1, it means that the entire group is much closer.
Oh boy. The Rams are not giving up. Simon forced out his calling, but the chase is on Sandy hitting the slow.
Oh, here it
and
comes.
there is the flashing Absolute Zero, dealing not too much damage, but they got what they wanted. Exidia pops the sword as he does survive. Orb has no point of escape, gets taken out by Sandy, but right now Simon going into the jungle side to escape the Rams and strong.
We have utility. It's a double redemption.
Yeah, the center club, but just see, trying to find the right time to go in, but I don't think he's going too long on for him. The flash in, there's it close, and that's it. Dex is exposed. Adamson University fights back strong, going then the first seed of Metro West. How they play it.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.